Welcome back to Burning River Bushcraft. Today we're going to be taking a look at a brand new bag from Campcraft Outdoors. This one is specifically for canoeing. This is called the Voyageur. So my buddy Mike Samisi and I, we get to go on quite a few canoe trips together. And we became friends and went through the Campcrafter instructor program at the same time. In our canoe trips, we rocked very similar gear because our training is so similar. So we're always talking what would be the best bag, and if this only had this option, and I like this one and he likes that one. So we kind of pitched an idea, and Jason Hunt grabbed a hold of it and he put the crew on it, and they came up with this bag right here. Now this just got here in time to go on a 6-day Minnesota canoe trip, so it is not going to look this clean for long. I figure I would just show you some of the features of the bag, and then I'll go into it in more detail on the trip. So if this is the kind of thing you like, go ahead and like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave me a comment in the comment box, and ring the bell to be notified of my latest videos. You can also find me on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at Burning River Bushcraft. I also teach outdoor classes at Outdoorcore.com. So the new Voyageur, like all the Campcraft bags, this is waxed canvas, and this is a really heavy grade canvas. This is the same canvas that you're going to see on Carhartt. And this particular one has a detachable strap, and that was one of the key features that we have on this. If I'm going for a quick trip and all I have is my haversack, I will just attach it to my canoe seat. And that way, if the canoe dumps, I've got it with me. If anything pops up during the paddle, all my critical gear is right here with me. So there's a couple ways to get around it. I would use a Lark's hat, I would use a carabiner, but the fact that I can unstrap this or unsnap it, go around my seat and clip it back in, that's a big advantage. Another thing I like about these D-rings, besides I can just go around my seat and clip it there, and this bag's going to be attached to that canoe like it or not. So when I dump it, this may be the only thing I've got to solve my problems. But I can also take the snaps completely off and then use these D-rings and attach this directly to the thwart of my canoe. So the thwarts are the cross pieces, and I can do that with a piece of twist wire like this. These are pretty common. I carry these a lot with me. I could also attach this underneath my seat, so it's going to be under my legs and still up off the bottom of the canoe floor. So I think that's a big advantage. This is not always just survival gear. If I was out for the day fishing, I would have my mandatory gear that I always carry with me, but I might have a tackle box in here as well, or maybe just my lunch. So having it quickly available is always a bonus. So this is the latest bag from Campcraft. This is the Indy, and this is a very nice haversack. I like this one a lot. This is an improvement on any of the previous haversacks that I've used, and the Voyageur is quite a bit bigger. So my favorite thing about this bag is the size. It's a little bit larger than the Indy. This is a little bit larger than any of the other Campcraft haversacks that I've got, and this is actually 18 by 14. 18 by 14 is larger than most any shoulder bag or haversack you're going to find. This is getting into the briefcase range, but why that number is so critical to me is I fly into a lot of trips, and in that case I don't always check my luggage. So I'll have a carry-on bag, which is usually a GoRuck backpack, and then my haversack is my personal item, and 14 by 18 is the standard size for a personal item. So I can lay this on the floor, slide this under the seat in my airplane, and I've got it the entire time. I'm not checking bags. I just have to source some type of cutting tool when I get to my destination, but this works great for me. I will always choose the bigger bag, and this one fits exactly under the seat of an airplane. So this is going to be a limited run. There's not going to be many of these made, and so we're going to have the limited edition logo. This might be an item that you have to special order. I'm not exactly sure how they're going to work this yet. Now this flap flips up, and this is actually like a pocket under here. So you could store your trash bags, your trash liners. You could put a flat emergency tarp under here. In this case, I haven't loaded this bag yet, but I was just sizing everything, and I've got my map case flipped right under here. And again, if I've got this attached to my thwart, I can flip this over. I've got access to everything in my bag as well as the map on the other side of the thwart, so I'm really loving that. Now this has got a really heavy duty zipper, and my old 95%er bag was a zippered bag, and I think that's awesome. Now, I mentioned that I'm going to be attaching this thing to the boat, and hopefully the boat stays upright. But if it doesn't, I want a zipper. I want a complete closure on this, so all my stuff is going to be here when I need it. This is truly life-saving stuff when you get out in the wilderness like this. Nobody's coming to get you. What you have in your bag or what you have on you might be all you have to get through the problem. So that's why keeping everything in here is so important. There's also a zipper in the front here, and this is pretty darn deep. This is about 8 inches here, and I like to compartmentalize as much as possible, so I put like a full fire kit in here. I'll have that usually in a belt pouch just for storage, so I can put any of my smaller items, my flashlight, my compass, anything I don't want to have to dig into the main bag for. And then again, once that's closed up, that is completely separate than the other bag. So here's the inside of the bag, and this is a lot like the Indy bag. One of the differences is the Indy has a small divider here in the front. So I took my main compartment on an Indy, and it is dividable to the front or the back. This is all one pocket. I have 2 small pockets, or they're kind of big pockets. This is where I put my water bottle, my nesting cup. I keep my grail in here. It's big enough where a saw will also slide down in here, so that way you don't have to worry about your bottle bouncing around. Your bottle's not going to be sideways. It's always going to be where it should be. Now the back compartment is really neat. I think this is kind of cool. This is the exact same situation as the Indy, and couldn't be more happy about that. This is a great idea. So this has a snap, just one simple snap, and then the entire back is open. So in this case, what I usually put in here is I usually put my shemagh. I usually put a poncho. This is where I would keep an extra tarp or an emergency space blanket. And then when I snap this up, it's closed, but it's still accessible really, really quickly. So anything I'm getting in and out of the bag on a moderately common basis is going to be here inside. So this center area, this is my possum pouch. This is where if I find something, if I find birch bark or dry firewood or berries or anything that I see that catches my eye, it's going in here for later use. If I eat half my lunch, it's going in here in this big carnivorous main pocket. And essentially my important survival gear I would put behind this zippered front or behind this snapped rear portion. So that gives me a big bag. I can do a lot with this. I can pack for multiple days with 0 issues with a bag this size. So who should be getting this bag? You probably should. I've got most of the Campcraft bags, and I find a reason for all of them. This, if I never canoed in my life, if I never went on another canoe trip, I would want this Voyageur bag for its size alone. This is about the size of a briefcase. This is perfect for airline travel. Even if you don't do the adventure travel thing where you're going camping or hiking or paddling in an airplane with minimal gear. If you're just going on a regular family vacation, this is going to be a heck of a personal item. This beats the heck out of any kind of man bag or briefcase or backpack. This is going to lay flat. This is going to slide under the seat of the airplane, and you're going to look good doing it. Now, for a regular haversack, this is large, but again, I don't just carry survival stuff in my haversack. If I was going fishing, if I was going to carry my lunch and didn't feel like carrying a backpack, this haversack has got room that I can carry my basic items that I always carry with me, but I can also put a raincoat in here. I can put a stuff coat in here. I can put a hat in case it gets colder. So a bigger bag is a really good thing. You just got to make sure you don't overpack it, because this thing will hold a ton of gear. Now you will be seeing this again. I'll probably show you what I got packed when I'm on the trip. So you should see this again. The background should be a lot cooler than it is right now. But I would not wait on this bag. I would absolutely get it on this limited run. You can probably work it into your system, and this fills a pretty unique void. This is a little bit bigger than a standard haversack, but a lot easier to carry than a bigger backpack. It's right at that line where it is truly a personal item. This thing holds a computer, this will hold a laptop. You could integrate this in your normal life without a whole lot of problems. Till next time, this has been Jamie Boggs with Burning River Bushcraft. See you soon.